Hello again, and thank you for joining A Shark's Perspective. So, if you've ever worked in any type of technology, especially marketing technology, then you'll find plenty of examples of where the technology is the driver, but doesn't always fit the solution. There are many times where people try to fit the product offering into a different solution, but it may not fit the actual needs of your customer. So, how do we prevent that? How do smart entrepreneurs and marketers know that the focus on the problem is what makes them more successful? Ronak Patel is the CEO of Sunflower Labs, and he's a subject matter expert at building custom software solutions. And on this episode, we'll discuss entrepreneurial life, developing innovative and great products, important lessons in hiring and growing a team, the changing landscape with custom digital products, and much, much more. So let's tune in to a Sunflower CEO with an innovative shark on this episode of A Shark's Perspective. Ronak, thank you so much for joining us today on A Shark's Perspective. If you would tell us a little bit about your background and your career to date.
Okay. I want to show how my journey since from very beginning after finishing my engineering degree in India and kind of I came as an immigrant to States. And since then, and again, the United States is the land of opportunity. From day one, I knew it. If I do something right, I keep putting the having the right perspective, I'm gonna make it here. And since then, I started my career as software engineer. And because I have the IT engineering background, as I did the engineering degree, and I started learning the problem. Technology, I was passionate about
Sure.
learning the new technology. Every day, I spent like hours and hours in my early days, like, okay, how I can skill myself on this technology. Eventually, my journey started seeing that, well, the technology is a one piece of the puzzles, what the
Sure.
way we want to change the world. And eventually, that's the transformations. You started understanding, well, the technology is just the no good if it's by itself. You
Yeah.
need to kind of mix it up with what the problem I'm solving, if I'm solving the right problem. And it took a year to kind of having these transformations happening. And since then, it goes on and on. So
So were you Y2K, post Y2K? When did you come in?
I was right on the Y2K.
Yeah.
I graduated around 2000, 2001. The moment I graduated, the market was crash.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect time to be here. So you started Sunflower Labs back in 2010, just as an entrepreneur. I'm not even talking about the work as an engineer or as a computer programmer or software developer. What have you learned as an entrepreneur? For that hassle for a lot of people, it's a lot. I mean, it's you've got to do everything in marketing, advertising, management operations, getting money, the family, everything. Everybody's got to be all in on it. What did you sort of learn as an entrepreneur?
um, the first thing I learned is I quit my 40 hours job and I signed up for 80 hours job.
Yeah,
That's the first
good
thing I
point. Yeah,
learned. And the second things was all the uncertainty, all unknowns.
yeah,
So then it becomes a part of my life that I things I do not know, and that's the life I kind of chose, and I have to live into it. So that's I think the
yeah.
two things I quickly learned.
And you've got a workforce that's in India and here. Have
Yes.
you talked to other entrepreneurs? Because most entrepreneurs are doing, at least here in the states, are doing most of their teams are here, and there are some obviously that are in the IT sector, especially that take advantage of the workforce that is in India. But did you notice anything different about creating an additional workforce thousands and thousands of miles away, as opposed to having them all in, you know, Ohio or New Jersey or wherever that was?
Yeah. So I have seen the both model. One, I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs having the complete on-site team
Mm-hmm.
or basically the state-based team. And the second one, we have seen the other way around, which is completely outsourced team.
Mm-hmm.
And we always knew that should be somewhere in between. And that was the way I was thinking that, well, if we kind of find the best from the both world, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
want to kind of when you're working with the startups or small to mid-sized company, the cost is a key concern. And if I have the entire team's state base, well, I cannot solve that problem. And the second things, if I have the completely outsourced team and have which I have burned myself with it, which is there is the communications gap, the project coordination doesn't happen well, the quality has been compromised. So that was on one way, and that was as the entrepreneur, I saw that as an opportunity that maybe I need to make it this model right
Hmm.
and have the team build up in the both continents so I can provide the actual advantage back to our customers.
Sure. One of the things you mentioned earlier, and your company dates back to 2010, and I saw this on one of your recent LinkedIn posts, but I'd like to know how you're approaching problems to solve problems for your customers. And it was something you mentioned about through the course of growing your company, you learned a few things along the way, and it was really focused on the customer always. It's about solving problems, not solving software. Those were great, interesting points I'd like you to kind of unpack and elaborate
Sure.
on a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So many time and many technology company, the mistakes they make, the moment they talk to customers or any things they see there is an opportunity, they directly jump on all the technology buzzword and say,
Features,
well,
yeah.
we have features and say we can build this one, we can build your mobile applications, we can build your like Alexa's and Google's home. Well, first understand the business, what the problem our customer is trying to solve. And that is the key. And the technology comes second. We need to understand what market our customers are in, what the problem they are facing. Are they even facing the real problem, or is just analysis and discovery is the number one key?
Hmm.
And then kind of back it up with the IT knowledge. Don't jump with the technology solution because that's gonna be a short lived. It's not gonna go too far.
You're not building in a silo. You're not building an application for a company to use only for itself. The goal is that eventually that product or service or application will solve problems for their customers. What kind of things do you go through in that discovery to help figure out what are the things you're trying to uncover so that your customers can solve problems for their customers?
Yeah. So, very in the initial conversations, and many times, and I can give you a few examples where they comes and say, "We know the solutions, what it is. Let's go ahead and build it, and tell us how much it will take, how much time it will take, and how much it cost us."
Hmm.
Well, we say, "Well, let us understand first that are we solving the real problem?" And that's where we are really keen and interested to do that. And one example is that was one of the customers came to us with even including the platform and the technology need to be used to solve the problem. And we, after looking in a days, like a couple of days we spent, and we say the solution you're trying to solve is basically kind of creating the rabbit hole. You are kind of investing more and more money into the solution, which is not going to survive in next 2 to 3 years. And that time it's been like a 5 years old story where they had the and I'm not disclosing the name of exactly product, but it was a small software runs on the retail store. On you have seen the small terminals, right? The,
Hmm.
the the
Hmm.
gas station and
Yeah.
convenience store runs, and they run the application from there. And we said, well, you can completely change. We build your mobile applications, and they said, well, the geo like if the device has been stolen, people can run the things outside. We said, well, we're gonna put the geofencing around the mobile application.
Hmm.
But this is the mobile application usage will be the right way rather than the tiny devices you want us to write the program. Which we can certainly do that, but then again, we'll be in the same loop where you're gonna keep coming back to
Hmm.
us, and there is no greater visibility to you for your product. There's no roadmap, and your end users are not looking this product. They are looking the better product comes out from you, and that's how you're gonna get the end user interaction. So we kind of say no to them. It's kind of took several weeks to convince them because that every like a VPs and project managers and everyone was convinced that, and every other vendors kind of giving out a quotes and timelines and say we can build it, this product, and we kind of stood to our ground and say that's not right for you
Hmm.
and neither right for us either to build that product what you're asking for. This is the way we are thinking it should be, and we are here to have the conversation on that only. So, and eventually that becomes a customer of life. So,
So, the software industry for marketing, creating digital products is a very competitive industry. What are you doing as a CEO to market your product and service to make it different in a very crowded field?
yeah. Um, One thing is was become very clear to keep finding the new client is impossible in the rate
Yeah.
of the way that the growth needs to be happening. So what could we do different? Retaining our existing customer. That was the key. And how do we retain them? With innovations and great product and building the story for them. What we have done, the building the software, which kind of even their competitors start approaching us. And that's how we are not, and that's our work itself doing the marketing. We do the marketing, but our product itself speaks for itself. And that's how we kind of find as a differentiator that how we can keep ourselves apart rather than just be a service provider and let's build your software.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to build a story. We are here to build a solution, not just the software.
Yeah. This is one of my most important things I'm talking about all the time now is the level of service that people provide. It is the differentiator across the board. You cannot support something that doesn't have a great level of service behind it. Otherwise, you're going to become just another bad technology partner. So, what are some of the hottest trends that you see in digital product innovation today? What are the things that are starting to, you're starting to integrate into it with different customers of yours?
Sure. Artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
natural language processing, Internet of Things, those are
Mm-hmm.
becoming a really good trend. And we are seeing the bits and pieces of the utilization in each of them, and which we are incorporating to the existing solution. So that's the trend we are seeing. And we are feeling that artificial intelligence and natural language processing in few years from here will start becoming a mainstream.
Are you primarily developing that in R, or what language?
So artificial intelligence, that is the multiple platform use and
Sure.
NLP as well. So let's, as examples, we build the Alexa applications. Well, it does have the AI piece, natural language
Right.
processing. Everything's kind of in a one unit, and we
Sure.
are kind of making it smarter and smarter every day it goes.
So you've got big clients and you've got small clients, especially entrepreneurs. What are the kind of things that entrepreneurs should consider that are different than what, a large scale ERP type system with a large brand with thousands of employees should consider? What are the things that you're starting to see in a lot of the startups and entrepreneurs that you're working with today? How should they look at this differently?
Um, when entrepreneurs start, they have like too many ideas, and which is great,
Yeah,
right? We want to do something, this one,
sure.
that one, and they start
But not enough
comparing.
budget to match the number of
Yeah,
ideas.
it doesn't have the all the resources they needed to kind of match the enterprise solution. And they are keep comparing their solutions with the enterprise solution. Well, I think the realistic way to look at it is what the resources they have and where they are making the needle move. Do not try to spend a lot of time on the things and the features which do not really matters. Focus some things, utilizing all resources on a one particular things rather than kind of like going like low on each features and not really making impact. And we kind of give them an examples. Even all the big great companies came out, they focus on a one platform, they focus on a very small number of features. The primary features they need to focus, do not try to go over and try to uh, thread it too thin. That's the first thing they need to avoiding. Yeah.
So, when a client, whether it's an entrepreneur or a large scale enterprise, decides to put a lot of money into these applications, how should they measure the return on investment that they get from them?
Return on investment, the way I see it is first things once we create the product roadmap and having the strategy, start executing. Every milestone we want to have some checkpoint. Sometimes the ROI is just not from the perspective of the monetizations or how many dollars coming back to us. But if my goals for the one milestone was user penetration, and if I'm not reaching that user penetrations, it's kind
Hmm.
of like having the retrospectives, and rather than kind of keep building the product and hoping that things will work out, we need to kind of fix the first milestone before we kind of keep launching the further milestones. So keeping the check and balances at the every milestone is a key.
So, as an entrepreneur, you've got all the other different things that you have to keep up with. You've got a workforce that's overseas, but the market has obviously shifted. Technology is extremely hot. It has been for a while. It keeps continue to be that way, especially competing for the right kind of talent. How do you find the right kind of talent to grow your own team to support all the technology and innovation that's coming at hyperspeed?
Um, Not always we are looking the very specific talent. When I say the talent, we are always looking the great talent, but not with a certain experience. Because
Right.
if you are kind of locked into this, the tools and technology, and you're trying to hire the engineers based on that, you are
Mm-hmm.
kind of creating your own problem. The one advice I give you is find the right talents. They can be adaptive, they can learn the new things and kind of stay with the market need where the technology can be used. So we do not really look the what you know, but are you ready to learn something what comes with the next? Because today when we hire someone with that skills, tomorrow the things will change.
So when you look into the future, into your own crystal ball, what do you see in the roadmap ahead? What do you see in the road ahead for digital products and where we're going? What are the things that you're starting to think about for the future and how to sustain and grow and keep ahead of pace for what your clients are going to need?
Um, One thing is that will be a lots and lots of data because now we have
Yeah.
been building the solutions for many years. Um, One things in the digital product, what we are seeing is more specialized software.
Mm-hmm.
There was a trend and that was a decades where you have the ERP or CRM solutions, which is kind of been installed across the different verticals and different industry. Now industry is coming back and say, well, this kind of meets our 80% or maybe 70%. What about remaining my 20 to 30%? So now
Mm-hmm.
there is a trend what we are seeing in the digital product development. We are kind of making very custom to that industry. Those are the softwares we will be built as the days goes by. And that's the trend we are seeing in the digital product, very custom to their need, and everyone have the different need. Within the one industry, the two company doesn't operate the same way. So I think that's where we comes in and create the product which is absolutely custom to them.
Are you running into a just or most of the time you're probably not building large scale ERP CRMs, aren't you? I mean, most people are moving to where you build something through an API which connects to some other legacy system they have to make it better, right?
Yes, it's a combination of both. We are not trying to reinvent the
Yeah,
wheel and do everything. They do have the
exactly.
existing the billing software. Let it be they use the billing software. What we are trying to find out the core, the problem area, the work which is they are doing it and finding the main problem, and that's the we are trying to address with the custom software.
Yeah. Ronak, you went to school near the Indian Ocean where there are a lot of beautiful coastal waters and white tip reef sharks and whale sharks. Because of the name of this show and my nickname, what is your favorite kind of shark and why? I'm sure when you were in engineering school, you did not get to go to the to the coral reef that much outside and go look at all the sharks, but you got to have at least a favorite shark.
Well, it's a tough question. I'm not really into much sharks, so sorry about that.
That's okay. How about the one from Nemo? Bruce.
Nemo.
We'll go with that one. There you go. So, all right, Ronak, it's that special time of the show. Are you ready for the five most interesting and important questions that you're going to be asked today?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Native or hybrid for mobile applications?
Native.
Number two, the UV Patel College of Engineering at Ganpat University in India, where you went to school, or where you are now in Columbus, Ohio, near the Ohio State University.
I will go OSU.
Number 3, Renoir or Van Gogh?
Um, Van Gogh.
You got to go with Van Gogh. He painted sunflowers. Number 4, enterprise level software or mobile application?
Enterprise solutions.
Enterprise solutions, good. Number 5, and the most important question that you're going to be asked today is biscuits or cornbread?
Biscuits.
Good man. All right, so Ronak, where can people find out more about you, connect, learn some more about Sunflower Labs and your great work?
Well, they can find me on a LinkedIn. They can go to our website. They can put a message. We are in the digital world. They can find more than one way. And I'm here. I will be there to kind of connect to the people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ronak, for being with us today on A Shark's Perspective.
Thank you. Have a great day.
So there was my conversation with Ronak Patel, the CEO of Sunflower Labs, and he's a subject matter expert at building custom software solutions. Let's take a look at 3 key takeaways from my conversation with him. First, I could devote 1,000 shows to this common problem of entrepreneurs in enterprise-sized companies and all companies. Hiring the correct people is one of the most critical factors in growing your business, whatever the size or the location. I'll add this reminder: technology changes, so make sure that your team changes with that. Help them evolve and continue to learn. Second, technology is just one piece of the puzzle of helping you, but it comes after the problems. Stop selling features. Focus on them and not you. As he said, and I'll paraphrase, the solution that you're trying to solve might actually be creating a rabbit hole. Many companies, including tech ones, immediately tout features when talking to their customers, but it's imperative to talk to the customer first and listen to see what problems they are facing. An important lesson to remember that he pointed out is that the technology comes second. Discovering that underlying problem is number one, and then back it up with the technology. Third, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but you're choosing a different kind of life that goes from 40 hours a week to 80. I've covered this many times on my show. There's so many things to consider as an entrepreneur, but whatever size you grow to in your company's journey, remember that the product speaks for itself, if you will, if you have a great product or service. Yes, you'll need to promote and market, but customers don't really care about the product itself. Just don't forget to innovate, create great products, provide a ridiculously high level of service, and thinking again of tech, build a solution and not just the software. Got a question? Send me an email to kenneth@asharksperspective.com. It's been my privilege to speak with you about another one of the many problems facing marketers and entrepreneurs and business leaders today. So go out there and listen to your customers' problems, create a custom solution, and join us on the next episode of A Shark's Perspective.